Good evening, welcome back. Good to have you here. What are we doing today? Well, recently one of you left a comment in the videos asking for a full poses video, which I'm more than happy to do. I don't know if I'm fully ready to go there yet, but you know what? We will never know until we try. So I think we're gonna try a pose today. I don't have too much time, unfortunately. It's been a very busy day and it's quite late. It's getting rather late. And I do like to get at least a little bit of sleep. So what I want to do is I want to do at least one pose today. It might not be the longest video, but at least we'll get it done. And I've really been looking forward to getting some drawing done today. I've been very excited for it. So I wanted to do this. I could have left this for tomorrow, but I'm happy that I'm here and we're doing it together. So join along. Make sure you check out the references in the description below, as always. And yeah, I'll see you at the drawing desk. Right, what have we got in store today? I'm going to move this out of the way just so we've got as much space as possible. Let's set up correctly here. We've got a different sketchbook today. Got some textured paper, and I opened it from the wrong way. I don't know what I last drew in here. Oh, look at that, you get to see a little bit of art. Yeah, some of them weren't great. But we've got a bit of textured paper today, and we've got our very nice TK Fine Vario Faber-Castell pencil that we're going to use this video. All right, let me make sure that I'm capturing this as well as possible. I've got the reference, which I'm going to go for. It's seems to be a fairly normal pose. Now, bear with me. This might not come out the best because I don't think I'm too great at this yet. So yeah, we'll go along and we'll see how it goes. So just to calmly start off, I'm gonna try and make this a little bit smaller than I usually do, because my thought is this isn't gonna fit on the page, because I usually have that issue. So, oh yeah, I always make the same mistake. I always wear a hat for these damn videos and I keep hitting my phone with it. I'm gonna start this whole process off by just putting information down on the page so I can use it and make it very easy for myself. The pose we're doing here is almost constantly at war with itself. I don't know how to explain it. But as you can see, we're creating a stick figure to sort of understand the pose better. Actually, let's go more like this. We're doing a stick figure pose, a stick figure to understand this pose a little bit better. And then we can always adjust from there. That's the great thing, right? It's not digital, so we don't have the same amount of control as digital, but we still have a lot of control that we can always change, and that's important. So if you don't have any digital tablet, just do as we're doing here. We're following along, grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil, just get going, get to work. We want to become great at this. I want to become a great artist. I don't know what your goals are here, but do you know what your goals are here? Speaking of that, I will be doing a video eventually talking about some goal setting and that sort of stuff, because it's something that I care about and I want to share it with you guys so that you sort of know where to go, and so you have some of the advice that I kind of wish I had when I was younger. So that's kind of my goal for this entire channel, to be honest, is just to create advice for people as much as I can. All right, so far, I know this might look strange, but I personally now have a pretty good silhouette of what we're building. So I'm gonna go ahead and start filling in some of this. So we've got the rib cage around here. The body is gonna look roughly like this. But we do have a suit here, so we don't have to be mega accurate. Also don't have to make the face features and everything exactly the same. I mean, you can if you want, that's always great, but what's the focus of this here? The focus is the pose, right? That's what we want to get right. So we're going to focus on getting that right. But the face we will leave to experimentation. I'm going to go a little bit more geometric here. It's not usually something I do. I'm going to make sure as I go along, obviously my laptop's going to constantly go off of sleep or whatever it's called, go off to sleep, but I'm going to constantly make sure to check back to the reference. You guys know how much I like using references, and you should too, because it's important as an artist to constantly use your references. All right, let's see. I'm going to put in a little bit more information around here. Just a little bit more, just so we know what we're doing. Constantly at a check with the stuff we're putting down, making sure that we're making the right decisions here. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead. He's wearing a suit, so I'm going to have to make sure we get that right. Hope you guys have been practicing along. Do let me know in the comments below what you are on and what you're currently practicing. I'd love to know. Ideally, you'd be practicing what we're practicing here, right? Going along with the episodes, but you know, I understand if you put this on in the background. Whilst you're doing something else. It's always completely fine. I do that a lot as well. Although nowadays I'm trying to lean more towards being more concentrated and present during what I'm doing. Let's see. Are we making a mistake here with the arm? I'm going to try and fill this in a little bit more, just so we have a little bit more information. A little bit of correction in case we need it. So I want to make sure that we're getting this fairly proportionally right. No need to make any major mistakes here. Although if we do, we have an eraser and we can correct them and we can learn from them. So never worry too much. We're taking our time, we're being calm, and we're learning. That's the most important thing. You want to be learning. Anyway, we can see that his jacket is open up here. It is a nice jacket, I do have to say. I'm going to try and erase a little bit of the information I do not need here, just so that I'm a little bit more composed when it comes to creating the rest of this image. Also, sorry if the table's rocking a little bit. I am going to try and figure that out eventually. This is a pretty cheap little desk that came with this house when we started renting it. So, and look at that, it's coming very handy. I'm very glad that it did come with one, because now I can use it as my recording desk for my, in general, just a drawing desk. I do understand how much of a privilege that is to have two desks. That is pretty baller. I always wished I would have a separate space for working, and it just kind of magically happened and came about. Right, I need to stop going over the same line 1,500 times. But that's something that is unfortunately somewhat of a habit that I have whenever I am drawing. I actually thought he was smoking in this picture for some reason. I have been wondering today, actually. I got an idea today because I do love art, but another thing I love is design. Design is another part of my life that, I did go to school for it, and I did actually kind of fall out of love with it for a while. I don't know whether it was because of the school or because of just realizing that it wasn't like 100% what I wanted to do, but I did sort of slowly fall out of love with it for a bit, but it never truly disappeared. So I do still have a love for design, and I was thinking of trying to rekindle that a little bit, especially on this channel here. I would love to sort of explore some design ideas and like make some videos going through design processes and trying to create something of my own. So you might have to watch out for that, because I am very, very curious about doing something like that. I think I would rather enjoy it. It would almost be similar to this, but with designing rather than drawing. Even though design is a major part and a major fundamental of art, this would sort of be a separate thing. See, I'm not going to fill in the face completely. I'm also going to go ahead and start adding a tiny bit of shadows. We want to sort of start filling that in. I do love some textured paper. I did miss it. I haven't used it for a while. His hair is pretty much completely black, so I'll do a little separation here for that. Although maybe at this point I shouldn't yet be focusing on the shading. That might be a little bit too early for that. Let's see, where else are we going with this? Wrinkles. Wrinkles are a thing I need to genuinely learn more and practice, because they are not something that's very easy to memorize for some reason. Like, it makes sense. Like, if you think about where the wrinkles would be, it makes sense. But then every time I start to actually draw them, it just doesn't come out the way I want it to come out. So definitely need some practice with the wrinkles. All right, let's put in the pants. See how they're looking. I know one of his legs is going inwards here, which I'm gonna try and make it look good. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here. Also, you guys get to get a little bit of ASMR when I'm doing the pencil stuff. Look at that. I'm even gonna emphasize it for you. And again, we've got some wrinkles happening here, so we gotta take those into account. Also, I think I'm making the table shake a little bit too much with this emphasis, so I'm gonna calm down. Although it is satisfying. I'm gonna put in some of the details of the pants. Now, here's an area I should be practicing more. Shoes and feet, because I don't know, does anyone out here like drawing feet? Because I don't. They're weird, they look weird, and I don't really want to be drawing them either. But you know what, it's part of art and we have to learn it. So for now, they're going to remain looking like this, because oh god, sorry about that. Just kicked over something. Yeah, they're going to look like this because I'm starting to run out of paper again. Alright, let's see. Let's get that jacket filled in here and make sure we shade it in, because there's no information on it in the reference, so I'm not going to put in any information here. There's a bunch of wrinkles going on here. Now, generally the way wrinkles work is wherever you have something like this, where it's all coming together, they're just going to be going outwards like this. And they're going to be sort of converging on this point here. So they're all going to be going inwards. I hope that That was a pretty terrible explanation, but that is more or less how wrinkles work. But we'll get into that at some point because it's an important thing. All right, let's get rid of some of the information we don't need here. Overall, so far, very happy with this actually. I cannot deny the fact that I'm impressed with how this is going. I'm gonna do that there. The hand. Oh, you know what? We just did hands, and now I'm not gonna leave it like this, am I? We're gonna have to develop it a little bit. But since I'm the artist here and I get to decide where we go, this is something you guys need to keep in mind. You're the artist and you control where you go with this painting or this drawing or this sketch or whatever you're doing. So you are in total control. So since I'm in control, we're gonna do the shadows now. Just some quick shadows, nothing too fancy. This here on the reference is also blocked out. We've got a little bit of light here, but then there's more shadow. I'll leave a little bit here and the rest will be shaded in, more or less. And then we have light appearing over here again and the rest filled in. Look at that. Oh, screwed up a little bit there. It's all right. And then the back's filled in because there's no information there either. And then all of this is also encased in shadow. I shouldn't be focusing too much on this, but like I said, I'm in control of this and I get to decide as the artist. It's just like you get to decide. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this part because overall the pose, I'm liking it. I think we've got a good thing going here. Let's not ruin it, eh? Sometimes adding more into a picture will ruin it more, right? If we add loads of detail down here at the legs, it might draw the viewer's attention to here rather than to here, which is the main thing we want the people to focus on. That's a general rule with painting or whatever you're doing. If you're going to put a lot of detail and work into a specific area, that's going to be your focal point, and that's going to be exactly where people look and where you want people to look. So as an artist, you've got to be making these decisions to guide the viewer and the consumer of your art through your piece. So at the moment, if I was a consumer of this art, it might be different for you, but for me, where do I pay most attention? I think it's around here, because this is where the most detail is happening. Like there's loads of random little lines, there's stuff happening. I can see that the artist has put in more effort around here, maybe even here by some contrast, and saturation, things like that. That often makes a difference as well. So the fact that there's more contrast going on here, that could be taken more detail. And naturally, as people, we're drawn to faces. So naturally, we're also drawn to this area here. So leaving detail out here, and maybe even in the hand, although I would say the hand is kind of a focal point as well, because it's something that's happening here, right? This is part of the story of this image. Like this hand is being looked at. So naturally, this should also have a little bit more detail to it. But that being said, it doesn't need to be perfect. I think if we do something along these lines, we will be golden. It's not perfect hand, but hey, it doesn't need to be, because that's not my point of this. But overall, I'd say let's hold on before we finish this up, add a little bit more shadow in here. Overall, I do need to get a little bit better with my shading skills as well. Well, actually, I do know how to do good shading. It's just I never bother to, which is terrible. Don't that is something you do not need to copy here. If you want to put out a good piece, you pay attention to every bit of detail and every decision. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let's rub out some of these little areas just to clean up the image a little bit. Now, going back to this textured paper, although I love the textured paper, it does smudge a lot, which that's a sucky thing. But it's only during the pencil phase. If you get some markers afterwards and go in on that, it'll be a lot different. All right, let's add a little time. Oh, that was a terrible attempt of a shading. Put a little bit of darkness in here because this is a very dark shadow. There's a little bit of wrinklage going on here as well. Oh, god damn it. There it is. That was my computer turning off its screen again. I used to have it off, but recently I was like, you know what? The display doesn't need to be on all the time. It can have a bit of rest. So it's just something I have to deal with now, but I'm happy to. It's all right. It's not an issue. Not a major issue, at least. There we go. Look at that. That's our first pose on the channel. I am actually kind of happy with that. I think that turned out pretty well. I hope yours turned out pretty well as well. And if you're following along the steps, the most important things to take out of this is breaking these things down. So when we're building up this whole pose in itself, you go in and you put in information where you need it. You put in information where the shoulders are, you put in where the hips are, you put in where the face, the feet, the hands. You just go one by one. And you take it slow. You don't rush it. You just put it all in and adjust. And what you'll find is once you've put in these little sketches and little lines in different places, your head will automatically start filling in the information that you need. And this will obviously be something that gets a lot better as you practice and as you go along as an artist. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. I mean, what a great session. I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Look at that. Pretty happy with the outcome. I think we did a good job here. I think I doubted my skills for creating this pose from the beginning. But overall, if you did go along with this, I hope it went just as good for you, if not better. And you can find the reference again in the description below. And you can have a look at some of the other ones that we've done so far. But I hope your session went well. I hope you had a good day. And we're going to wrap this up here. So if you did enjoy it, leave a like. If you want to see more of this stuff, if you want to continue along with the fundamentals days, then be sure to leave a sub. I'm yet to put this in the playlist. I actually forgot to do that. I'm going to put that into my to-do list for tomorrow. So you can find this in the playlist eventually. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day and get some good art practice, man.